Welcome everyone, excuse me, to our daily Forex market analysis call, and this is in preparation for trading on October 18th, 2017. Just a quick disclaimer before we get started. This is for educational purposes only. Trading is a risky business, so please be careful with your money. All right, so as usual, we will take it from the top. In terms of the data that came out, we had a lot of stuff coming out of the UK here. CPI numbers came out, and there were some speeches and comments and stuff like that that drove the market in London. New York, nothing much happened, just market went sideways. So let's take a look at tomorrow. What do we have coming up? So in the the London time frame here, we have ECB President Draghi speaking. So this will be important. Excuse me. So he's the big thing that everybody's looking for from ECBs to see when are they going to start cutting back on their asset purchase program. So that's really what the market will be looking at to see how, you know, what he says about it, or if he makes any comments about it. So that's that. And then at 4:30 a.m. Eastern, we have average earnings index. So today, some of the comments that were made by the officials in UK, they were concerned about average earnings. They were saying that average earnings have been decreasing. So right now, it looks like it's supposed to sort of stay the same. So if this is better, if average earnings are better, this will be positive for the British pound, because this would mean that central bank would have to start thinking about raising rates. And if it's negative, if it's not in line with expectation, then it will be negative for the British pound, because then it means that it will push back the whole expectations for interest rate hike from Bank of England. And in the US session, we have a couple of FOMC members speaking. Building permits will be an important number for the US. And then we have crude oil inventories, which will be important for the Canadian dollar. And then going into the Asian session, busy here, we have employment numbers for Australia, GDP for China, also industrial production for China. So even though we don't trade the Chinese currency, these numbers will have an impact on New Zealand and Australia, because both of those countries are big trade partners with China. So they export a lot of stuff to China. If China is not doing well, that means their economies will be impacted as well. So keep that in mind. So in today's session, we do not really have anything else coming out for New Zealand or Australia. Okay, so let's move on to our charts here. We will start off by taking a look at our euro here. Okay, so with the euro, we have moved lower. We have had a bearish candle close. So we're looking for further move down into this 1.1680 level here. But with President Draghi, ECB President Draghi speaking, this could have an impact on the euro. So keep that in mind. In terms of the pullback, this 1800 level looks like a good level for a pullback. So if we are looking for the trend to continue to the downside, then we are looking for one of these moves, and then price could drop from there, or it could go into this support and resistance level, 1.1820 level, and price may do one of these. So those will be the two levels I would look for in terms of pullback, and then I'm looking for a continuation to the downside. Although if Draghi says something, this could completely change. So keep that in mind. But overall, I'm looking for this pullback into this 1800 level, and then a drop to the downside. Target is 1.1680 level. British pound here, we have had a nice bearish candle close, so we're looking for a further move to the downside. And the target here is 1.3120 level. If we take a look at the 1 hour chart, we could see a pullback into this level here, 1.3250-ish level, and then a further drop. But if price is really bearish, we could just see a pullback into the pivot point and then a drop. So we may see one of these moves to the downside. So the target will be the bottom of this pin, which is a 1.3120 level. So overall, pound is more bearish than euro is at the moment. Looking at our Aussie here, we have a rejection of this level. 78 price did not quite get into 78.05. It bounced off of the 78.16 level. At this point, it looks like a rejection. That means the price could go higher. Let's get closer here. So this is not exactly bullish, but it is rejecting this level, 78.20 level. So the question now is, how will the price react here? So let's go take a look at the 1 hour. So if the price holds above the 78.35 level, this support and resistance, so let's say price comes and tests this level once again. If it holds above this level, then we are looking for, we could see this inverse head and shoulders pattern, and we could see a move all the way back up to the top here. However, on the other hand, if price holds below, and let's say it stays below here and then goes through this level to the downside, then we could see price move lower. 78.20 will be the first target to the downside, and then we're looking at this 7,800, which is S2 level here, will be the second target. So that's what I am looking for. This one, overall, it is not extremely bullish, but it did get rejected here, so we do have to keep that in mind. New Zealand dollar. New Zealand dollar is more bearish. We have had a very neutral candle close for the day. If you take a look at this here, very, very neutral candle close. Price has rejected this level 3 times. So this looks more bearish between the two here. So I'm looking for price to move lower here. The first one would be 71.45 will be the first target. And then below that, we're looking for price to come into this 71.20 level. And looking at the 1 hour, we do see that the price is kind of making its way to the downside, and we could see price come into this 71.50 level and then further into this 71.20 level to the downside. Dollar CAD here has dropped quite a bit, and this is one of the reasons we have seen Aussie and New Zealand dollar get pushed up. So one of the reasons we have seen dollar CAD drop is because there was all these comments out of OPEC countries in regards to the oil production and stuff like that, and cutting back on it. So that's what has caused dollar CAD to drop. Excuse me. So with this one, we had a bearish pin bar here. So we have a nice rejection of the high, looking for price to move lower here. So if this keeps moving lower, that could cause problems for Aussie and New Zealand dollar, and they could get pushed up. So keep that in mind. So with this one, the target is a 1.2440 level, which is down here. So we're looking for price to move down lower. Euro pound here, we have 2 rejections of this level here. So this looks bullish. So looking for further move to the upside. This is a nice support and resistance area. So that will be our target to the upside, 89.80 level. Looking for price to move up further for Euro pound. Euro Swiss franc. Euro Swiss franc, we had talked about how it was still maintaining that bullish bias yesterday. So today it did come down, but right now we have a very neutral close for the day. But overall, prices making higher highs here. So the high compared to this one is higher today. So looking for price to move further, and the target here would be 1.1540. So it hasn't been a huge move here, not a ton of strength, but overall it is still bullish. So looking for this to move higher into 1.1540 and then potentially into 1.1560 level. Pound Swiss franc. Pound Swiss franc hasn't done much. It kind of took us out right over here, just nicked us and then came back right into where we had started, somewhere in here. So it's just going sideways at the moment. But overall, it is a bearish candle close. So this is a nice bearish pin bar. So we're looking for price to move lower. The target here is 128.70. And below that, we are looking for 1.2820 level. So those will be the two targets to the downside. But I do like these lower highs that pound Swiss has made. It was just unfortunate that we kind of got nicked out. I think my stop was a little bit closer than it needed to be. So bearish pin bar, looking for a further follow through to the downside, especially if the data comes out negative for British pound. This could get pushed lower. Dollar Swiss franc, we did everything here. Price pushed up and then pulled back. So now we are at that critical support and resistance level. So price has managed to close above this. So now if the price stays above this, then we are looking for further bullishness in dollar Swiss franc. So this is the type of move that I would be looking at. The critical thing is to keep an eye on this 97.70 level. If price stays above this level, then we are looking for further move to the upside. In that case, the target would be 0.9820 to the upside. Pound yen, we have had a nice bearish candle close, so looking for a further move to the downside here. The target is 146.97, so about 14700 level. So looking for a drop here. Euro yen has held above this level. This is a strong support and resistance level for euro yen, and it hasn't been broken here. So now we have to see what happens. It has closed lower. However, this again will be the critical area, just like euro Swiss there. If the price holds above this level, if the price holds above 131.80, then we could see the price push up into 133.20. However, because it is sitting low, when price starts to kind of stay low like that, we could see one of these moves. But in that case, we have to see a break of 131.80 and hold below 131.80, and then we would see a move to the downside. But for now, as long as it holds above this level, we cannot take a short right here. So another potential level for a short could be right there, 132.40-ish level. Price could go up there, reject that level, and then drop. But for now, we need to see what direction price wants to take. So this is probably not the best pair to trade at the moment. Aussie yen looks like it wants to drop right now. Let me just take a quick look at Aussie. Okay. Okay, Aussie yen, it hasn't really done much over the last few days. It has rejected this bottom level, 87.70 level, but it is making lower highs. So it's trying to move lower, not finding a ton of success with it. So for now, looking for further move to the downside, a retest of 87.80 level here. And if the price holds above this, then again, we are looking for a push to the upside back into this 88.27 level. But if it drops here, if the price does not hold below, so just like yesterday, some of these levels are becoming quite critical now because price seems to be hitting them. If it breaks through this 87.80 level, then we are looking for a push back into it and then a drop into 87.40. So that's the type of move we could see in this one. Let's take a look at the 1 hour here. So price, see how price is stuck here. So if it doesn't break higher, it's likely to come retest this level, and that's where we need to see if it will manage. So we may see one of these. If it does this, then we could see an entry here. So if you wanted to do this, so this one, the first target would be 87.80 level. And then we're looking for, once it breaks below and holds below, then we're looking for a further move to the downside. But it does have a lot of rejections here. Price has tested this level multiple times and just has had trouble with that. So keep that in mind. Dollar yen. Dollar yen, we have a doji here, which shows rejection to the upside. So looking for a further move back down here. The target would be 111.60 area, right about here. And if you go into the 1 hour here, if the price holds below this pivot point and stays below the pivot point, then we're looking for basically price to kind of come back down and test this level once again. So bias here is to the downside. Euro Aussie here hasn't done a whole lot. Price has moved lower, so it's just neutral over the last couple of days. Because the close is lower, I'm looking for price to move lower. Target would be 1.4900, but this doesn't seem like a very strong move, so may not be the best one to trade. CAD yen, the last one here. CAD yen, we have had 2 rejections in the bottom here. Now we're looking for a further move to the upside. The target will be this support and resistance level, so 90.00, which is not that far. And if price breaks above that, next one will be this 90.45. So looking for price to move up higher into that. Any questions or anything to add? Okay, so I'll take that as a no, so we'll call it a wrap. Excuse me. And I'll be trading London again, so I'll be back around 2 a.m. Eastern. You're welcome. I'll see everyone tomorrow.